Do you believe in ghosts? There have been many K-pop idols who have experienced bone-chilling encounters with the supernatural. From mysterious figures in practice rooms to sinister doppelgangers and spine-tingling encounter, these idols' stories will send shivers down your spine. Don't miss a minute of this eerie exploration into the unknown. The Haunted Companies. In an Instagram livestream, Aespa Karina shared a spine-tingling encounter she had with an unknown being back in her trainee days at the old SM Entertainment building. Exhausted from grueling practice, she decided to catch some sleep in the female practice room, where she was all alone. Wrapped up in a yoga mat, she lay down and gradually falling into her sleep. But here's where it gets eerie. Karina felt an icy coldness suddenly spreading in the air. With great cautiousness, Karina peeped out from under her makeshift blanket, and what she saw gave her chills. Right there, before her eyes, sat a girl with her head resting on the table, her feet gently swinging back and forth in an unsettling rhythm. At first, Karina thought it was just another trainee who was also trying to catch a nap, but the face that stared back at her was entirely unfamiliar, leaving her bewildered. Trying to shake off the uneasiness, Karina attempted to resume her nap. Later, when she recounted this chilling incident to her fellow trainees, they were baffled. They also had returned from practice, but saw no mysterious girl on that table, as Karina had described. And so, the identity of the girl haunting the practice room remained shrouded in uncertainty. That is not the only time a supernatural encounter was heard in the SM building. During his trainee days, Shinee's Taemin would stay way late into the night, practicing in the training rooms by himself. One night, as he was practicing, he heard a song played on a piano. The eerie melody echoed from the practice room down the hall. Curiosity got the better of him. Still unaware of what awaits, he goes out and walks toward the room, wondering who's the trainee that also practicing so late. As he cautiously pushed open the door, he was in for a spine-tingling surprise. The room was empty, and the piano sat there in eerie silence. A shiver ran down his spine, and he swiftly closed the door and ran away. But that didn't end there. Just as he was sprinting for his life, he suddenly heard a loud bang come from the same room, as if someone suddenly slammed their hands onto the keyboard. Taemin ran away and never looked back. Now let us take you into the mysterious corridors of JYP Entertainment's old building, where unexplainable stories lurk in the shadows. Jo Kwon, the leader of 2AM, unveiled a spine-tingling legend that's been passed down through the generations of JYP idols. There's a staircase leading down to the company's basement practice room, and it's said to be hiding a dark secret. Many people, including Jo Kwon himself, have fallen down those stairs. Jo Kwon's fall was so serious that Sunmi, the former Wonder Girls member and now a solo superstar, had to call an ambulance to rush him to the hospital. This story was also confirmed on a different occasion, when Twice's Nayeon, Jonghyun and Sana was doing a special live. They talked about JYP old building and the weird phenomenon where a lot of people in the company fell on the same place. It was never discovered why so many people keep falling there, until one day, a new trainee gives a new insight into this phenomenon. That trainee passed over the staircase and stopped. Couldn't help but fixate his gaze to the empty staircase. Suddenly, he burst into eerie laughter. Intrigued and more than a little spooked, Jo Kwon asked the trainee what was so funny. In a chillingly calm tone, the trainee revealed that he could see a young boy sitting on those very steps, swinging his legs over the edge. There was a rumor that the building used to be a cemetery. The sinister doppelgangers. They can be anyone around you. Sometimes, these supernatural beings can take the form of someone familiar to you. MAMAMOO is no stranger to this. Their old dormitory are very well known to be haunted, and this ghost often takes the form of a very familiar face. On one ominous night, Moonbyul was trying to catch some sleep on her top bunk bed. Suddenly, she was jolted awake by the sight of someone sneaking into her room. It was none other than her fellow MAMAMOO member, Wasa. But here's where things get weird. Moonbyul couldn't shake the strange feeling that something was off. She watched that figure rummaging through her personal belongings while snacking on some sweet treats. In her vivid memory, Wasa didn't stop there and started to make a move toward the bed, climbing the bunk ladder. After a moment of silence, it pounded on the bed with a loud noise and then descended to further satisfy her late-night hunger. As the night wore on, Moonbyul's mind was filled with growing confusion about that bizarre view that she witnessed. When morning broke, the truth sent shivers down her spine. Apparently, the The real Hwasa had left the dorm and gone back to her hometown that very night. What Moonbyul had witnessed was something altogether otherworldly. Moonbyul is not the only one that has had this strange encounter. This time, it involves Solar. It's a quiet night, and Solar is fast asleep in her dorm room. Her bed is strategically placed so she can see the door from where she lies. While she was sleeping, she heard some rustling sound. Not fully conscious, she turned her head to the door instinctively. There, by the open door, stands her fellow member, Hwasa, dressed only in her underwear and bra. Hwasa's gaze is fixed on Solar, and she remains eerily silent. Still groggy and not fully grasping the situation, Solar asks Hwasa what on earth she's doing there and why she hasn't gone to take a shower. Hwasa didn't answer. She turns away and exits the room, leaving Solar bewildered and unnerved. As the first light of dawn broke, she jolted awake, and her hair stood on end. She couldn't shake off the eerie feeling. She just remembered that the day before, two of her fellow members, Hwasa and Wheein, had left to visit their hometowns. So whatever it is that she saw couldn't have been the real Hwasa. After that happening, Mamamoo moved out of that dorm. If you think you are safe outside the country, you are wrong. Niki from ENHYPEN once shared his experience when he stayed in Japan. You know how elevator doors can act like mirrors sometimes, reflecting what's happening behind you? So, Niki was standing there, all by himself, waiting for the elevator. He glanced at the elevator doors and saw a woman coming down the stairs. Naturally, he turned his head to get a better look. But here's where it gets creepy. There was no one there. The staircase was empty. Confused and a bit spooked, he decided to head into the elevator and press his floor. The elevator dinged, signaling his arrival, and he stepped out onto his floor. He immediately sensed something was not right. To his shock, he saw that same woman who was supposed to be on the first floor, standing in the hallway. Feeling very frightened, Niki rushed to his room and tried to close the door, but it felt strangely heavy, as if someone or something was on the other side, holding the door open. To add to the eerie atmosphere, he remembered that on that very day, the dog in that premise couldn't stop barking, almost as if it too sensed a presence that doesn't belong to this world. And just when you thought the chills couldn't get any worse, we switch gears to Eun Ji Won, a first-generation K-pop idol, who shared his unbelievable encounter while vacationing in Hawaii with his friends. They were driving late at night on a dimly lit road. As they drove, they noticed a beautiful woman walking alone by the side of the street. Concerned for her safety, they decided to slow down. They rolled down the car window and asked if she needed any help. But what happened next was truly chilling. Instead of responding, the woman did something unimaginable. She reached out and grabbed the edge of the car window, unleashing a bone-chilling, monstrous scream that sent shivers down their spines. In sheer panic, the boys slammed their foot on the gas pedal, speeding away from this terrifying encounter. What they saw in the rear-view mirror made their hearts sink. They witnessed something that defied explanation. The woman was sprinting at an inhuman, breakneck speed towards their car. To take a break from this scary situation, let's dive into the courageous journey of foreign K-pop idols and how they break barriers and paved their way as they make their mark in the K-pop industry. Don't miss it. Click on this video now.